Hello, everyone, and welcome. We're going to give it a minute or so while we continue to see guests joining our virtual room. As you're joining, once again, welcome. We'll just give it a few more seconds before we get started. Alrighty, as you continue to join in, we'll give it about 30 more seconds. We're excited that you're here with us, and we'll get started shortly. Alrighty, welcome, prospective students, parents, family members, and guests to the Your College Adventure Awaits, a panel presentation hosted by Miami-Dade County Public Schools and the 12 offices of admissions of our state university system of Florida. My name is Joel Vanderhorst, and I will be your host and moderator this evening. Before we start, I have a few housekeeping items to go over with you. First, this is being recorded. A copy will be provided to the Florida Department of Education and Florida Board of Governors for use on their website. Next, each university will have 2 to 3 minutes to provide you with a brief update. If you want more specific information about any school or schools, you are encouraged to visit their individual websites and sign up for their information sessions and campus visit programs. After the individual information sessions, we have a question and answer panel. These questions came from students and parents from around the state, and the panelists worked together to ensure that each response was inclusive of all 12 of the universities. If the question or answer is specific to a few of the schools, or some of the schools operate differently, that would also be noted in the response. Now, to get us started, we're going to hear from each of our 12 schools. But before we do, here are a few facts about the State University System of Florida. It has been ranked the #1 state university system in the country for 5 years in a row. They enroll over 350,000 students and award nearly 70,000 bachelor's degrees. So to get us started, let's hear from the #1 ranked public historically Black college, our own Florida A&M University, and Mr. Hugh Durham.
All right, thank you, Joel. All right, well, first of all, good evening, and I bring you greetings on behalf of Florida A&M, our 12th president, Dr. Larry Robinson. My name is Hugh Durham, and I serve as the Director of Undergraduate Admissions here at Florida A&M, Tallahassee, Florida. So just to give you a little bit about what's required in terms of admissions, when we're looking at our student applicant pool, we really try to focus on students that have a 3.0 GPA and above. If you have slightly below that, doesn't mean that you won't get in or you don't have a good chance, but really 3.0 generally tends to be the the GPA that we look for in terms of, well, looking solely at, right, your core curriculum, looking at how you've done in those readings and those maths and those science courses. And then, of course, we're looking for approximately 18 academic units. So 4 years of English and math, 3 years of your natural and social sciences, 2 years of foreign languages, and then, of course, additional academic core units we require too. I always tell students that when we look at the SAT and the ACT, it's a good idea generally to take both. Why? Because we'll use whichever test benefits you in our admissions process. But furthermore, when it comes down to scholarships, we do the same thing. And then, of course, we do super scores. So if you have an opportunity, I say definitely take both the SAT and the ACT, take them multiple times. Because here at Florida A&M, we're going to use whichever test and whichever math, whichever English, whatever that looks like to benefit you. Of course, we asked for a 500-word essay, and we're looking for an essay that essentially, I think what's most important is that it's well written. It's on a topic of your choice. We love to hear about how you've been able to overcome any trials and tribulations in your life and how that's going to really allow you to be a really great student here at Florida A&M. But then furthermore, how can you take what you've learned in that trials and those tribulations that you've had to encounter, and how can you really use that to make and better society? So that 500-word essay gives us a short snapshot of really, who you are and what you can bring to the university. So great advice would be to make sure that someone proofreads it. We do require 2 letters of recommendation. The 2 letters of recommendation, we require obviously maybe one from somebody in an academic setting that can testify to your academic capabilities and potential. The other one could be from a counselor. It could be from a pastor at your church. But we don't no longer require that one of them has to be from a guidance counselor. So 2 letters of recommendation. And I think this is the thing I'm most excited about, which is that in terms of really putting the student in a position to therefore be able to control a huge part of their admissions process, or the applicant process, which is SAR. So you can actually now go on and self-report, no longer waiting for your counselors or waiting for the high school registrar to send over your transcripts. You can actually do that with an unofficial transcript sitting in front of you and simply entering in all your grades, 9th right through 12th, right, any courses in progress, and therefore that comes over automatically and migrates electronically into our system. So therefore your transcripts are then taken care of. Of course, there's a $35 application fee, but we do accept NACAC, ACT, or College Board fee waivers. And I always encourage students, even though the deadline for fall admissions to do your application is May 1st, but I encourage students to do that earlier rather than later, because of course, the later you get to that date, we have a very strong applicant pool and for a very limited number of seats. Of course, November 1st is the spring deadline. So if you have a student that is interested, maybe perhaps sat out, took a gap year, whatever the case may be, that usually is a very popular deadline for students to know, so November 1st. And if you are interested in summer and getting started a little bit early with us, March 1st is that deadline. So without any further ado, I want to turn it over to my most amazing and fabulous colleague representing the FAU, Ms. Maura Flashner.
Good evening, and Hugh, thank you so much. It is always wonderful for the 12 of us to be together, albeit virtually. Hi, my name is Maura Flashner, and I'm the Executive Director of Admission for Florida Atlantic in beautiful Boca Raton, Florida. It's a very exciting time for FAU as this marks our 60th year, 60th birthday, if you will, being the 5th public university in Florida to be founded. In our 60th year of growth, our demographics continue to mirror that of the state of Florida. And this fall, we opened a new residence hall in Boca Raton, a new residence hall in Jupiter at our Wilkes Honors College, And we are under construction for the FAU Stiles Nicholson Brain Institute, which will be on our Jupiter campus to expand innovative STEM programs. So excited about those recent developments. As you consider applying for admission, I think the first step we want to encourage you to do is go ahead and apply. You can find FAU both on the Common App, or we have an application on the FAU website. We do not have a preference. We just ask that you apply once. You can apply directly to FAU, or if you are most interested in our Wilkes Honors College, you are welcome to apply directly to the Wilkes Honors College. When you apply for admission, you will be considered for the term that you apply for, as well as any and all of our bridge programs. Automatic consideration, no supplemental applications, and no additional hoops that which you have to jump through. For admissions consideration, we are going to continue to place a heavy emphasis on the academic GPA, and that's what we call your core courses: English, math, science, social science, foreign language. We're looking at the rigor and the depth of the schedule that you have taken in grades 9 through 12, as well as what's been available to you at your high school. Your senior schedule does matter, so please know that is one of the aspects we do review. We also, like my colleague at FAM said, we use the SSAR, that self-reported academic record. We ask that you do not send us transcripts unless a member of our staff specifically emails you or calls you to ask for that. The SAR really helps us get a picture of every student and standardize our review process. It's also really important, students, that you are accurate in your self-reporting. So it's always a good idea for you to pull up or have in front of you a copy of your official transcript so you tell us the right classes and the right grades. We know family is incredibly important in the college search process. So for any of the moms or aunties or cousins or dads that are out there, we also want to make sure that you have the correct information as you guide them in this process. We do allow you to self-report your SAT or ACT scores. Again, we strongly recommend you have your score report in front of you as you do this. If you want to submit an ACT score and you're thinking about being able to submit a super score, we require that you submit every complete instance of your test. We do not use only a super score to make an admissions or a scholarship decision. Students are automatically considered for merit scholarships when you apply. And our deadline for applying to be considered for merit scholarships is January 14th. Every admitted student receives an acceptance letter and an email that details your admission to whichever term you've been admitted for, and or if you've been admitted to a bridge program. Our campus is open for tours as well as open house programs. In Boca, we have an open house October 16th and November 20th. Our Wilkes Honors College will be hosting open house on October 20th and November 13th. It's wonderful to see so many students and families with us this evening. We really appreciate you being here. We're excited about this year, and I'm going to turn it over to my colleague, Dean Batchelder, Associate Director of Admission from Florida Gulf Coast University.
Thank you, Maura, and good evening, everyone. Really appreciate you being with us here tonight. As Maura mentioned, my name is Dean Batchelder, Associate Director of Undergraduate Admissions here at Florida Gulf Coast University in sunny Southwest Florida. Really appreciate you taking the time to listen for a few moments. I'll try and keep it as short and sweet as possible. As you can see, we haven't increased our tuition in 8 years. We're very proud of that fact. A few other points of pride at FGC that we have our dorms have been designated top 10 best dorms in the US by niche.com. We have the second highest job placement rate in the state of Florida. And something we're really proud of are that we weave in service learning and environmental sustainability to our curriculum. We require service learning hours for every graduate from FGCU, and every student at FGCU will take a colloquium class that focuses on environmental sustainability. So it's kind of neat. We really like to see the students getting involved in those areas. We offer 64 different majors and 54 minors currently in our 6 colleges and 6 schools. And For application, our admissions process, similar to the other universities, pretty straightforward. You can apply to FGCU through the Common App or through our native application. We do require the essays. We do not require letters of recommendation. We require official transcripts, and then, of course, send in your official test scores as with the other universities. As long as you apply by November 1st and complete your application by November 15th, you are considered under early action. We will let you know where you stand. Good news by Christmas, maybe a little less good news by January, but we will let you know where you stand if you complete your application early under the early action program. The other benefit of early action is that you are automatically considered for our merit awards, so no separate application, nothing else to worry about. Just apply early. Let us take a look. If you have a 3.5 GPA and a 1220 SAT or 25 ACTs, you automatically qualify the President's Silver Scholarship, which is $3,000 a year. If you have a 3.9 or higher and you manage a 1320 on the SAT or a 28 on the ACT, then you qualify for President's Gold, which is $6,000 a year. $5,000 a year, which almost covers that tuition of $6118 a year. So I really encourage that you apply early. Take the SAT, ACT multiple times till you get the highest scores that you feel you can achieve. Please do come into our campus as well. We have in-person visits 5 days a week and on some Saturdays. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact us, reach out, email us. One final point is that we do have open house. We call it Eagle Expo. Our open house takes place this Saturday. So if you're in the neighborhood, or if you want to stop down to sunny Fort Myers this weekend, Saturday from 9 to 1, we will have an open house. We have all the agencies on campus represented, all the colleges, all the schools. We'll have 1,500 folks or so here, and it'll be a great time, a great chance to really take a closer look at the college if you're interested. So thank you for your time. I'm going to turn it over to my colleague, Jody Glassman from Florida International University.
Thank you very much, and good evening. In 1969, Chuck Perry outlined his vision for a university that would be built on an abandoned airfield. There was one building, and it was a former air traffic controller's tower. There were no phones, and it had no drinkable water. Overcoming any and every obstacle, the university opened in 1972 with 5,667 students. It was at the time the largest opening enrollment in U.S. collegiate history. From those days until now, that university, our FIU, has grown into a selective, internationally recognized research university. The entrepreneurial spirit, community-focused, and grit that built FIU in the 60s still thrives on campus today. In the last decade, our FIU has been recognized as one of the top universities for social mobility, innovation, international business, life below water, life on land, and the graduates of the FIU Law School once again had the highest pass rates on the Florida bar. FIU has also continued to be an institution rich in culture and diversity. As a minority-majority university, we have committed ourselves to build an academic community whose members represent and embrace diverse cultures. We have not shied away from the tough conversations, and we have put in the time to assess what we can do better to improve our FIU community. From the Social Justice Summit to our first Juneteenth celebration, we have not just written a diversity, equity, and inclusion plan, we have been putting our plan into action. Most recently, Equal Opportunity Magazine readers ranked FIU as one of the top 20 universities who offer a diversified curriculum, have a diversified student, faculty, and staff base, and foster a diverse and inclusive learning environment. FIU is number 2 on the Best Medical School Diversity Index, and we award the most bachelor's and master's degrees to Hispanic students in the United States. FIU is also a solution center for some of the world's most pressing issues: sea level rise, climate change, and finding ways to ensure our children grow up happy and healthy. We have had researchers on the front lines during this global pandemic, and not just humans. Our COVID detecting dogs are in airports and communities around the country. Our FIU is a leader in international relations and politics, and our FIU educated many of your high school principals, teachers, and counselors. They've trained your doctor. We've educated your lawyer, We've helped plan Coachella. In fact, someone from our FIU may have designed the super yacht you've always wanted, or that cruise ship you're going to go on to celebrate your graduation. Our FIU is a beacon of hope, a university lighting the way for a better tomorrow. Your education at FIU will extend beyond the traditional classroom with a bunch of desks and some faculty member lecturing at the front of the class. When you graduate, we want you to be ready for the workforce. We want you to be ready for graduate school. We want you to be ready for professional school. So you need to gain the experience while you're here, and we will give you every opportunity. You just need to take it. We flip classrooms, we lend our talents to serve others in need, and we work to save the planet and leave the world a better place. So as you go through this college search, application, and selection process, take it all in. Please don't think, well, I do dual enrollment here, or my sister goes there, or this is too close to home, or this isn't close enough. I promise you, this is not the same until you have your college experience. Clear your mind of all preconceived notions about what you think college should be, or what you, or what college you really want to go to versus the one your parents are making you look at. And most of all, remember to enjoy this. Drop the mindset that you are defined by a t-shirt or a bumper sticker. Ask questions, complete your applications, read your emails, visit a residence hall even if you live across the street from a school. Do your thing, learn your thing. As I like to say, you know what, do you. Poet Richard Blanco, two-time FIU graduate and Barack Obama's inaugural poet, wrote a poem for FIU, and it ends with, "We are the promise of created equal and the pursuit of happiness. And so we rise with all of the instinct and drive of the sun, because there's always another horizon and another to reach and keep lighting up with our light." So I leave you with this as we enter our next horizon, embrace our role as an emerging preeminent 21st century metropolitan university. We will never lose our passion for our beloved humble roots on that airfield. We look back to remember how far we've come, and we look at what it took to get here. And we, as a community, look to where we want to go. We hope that you will join us. Our applications are open and our scholarship deadline is November 1st. Come visit either in person or online. I look forward to welcoming you to campus. And now I'm proud to introduce our next presenter, Director of Admissions at Florida Polytechnic University, Ms. Michelle Powell.
Thank you very much, Jody. Good evening, everyone, and greetings from Central Florida. As Jody mentioned, I'm Michelle Powell, Director of Admissions here at Florida Poly. Florida Poly is ranked the #1 public college in the South, according to U.S. News and World Report. We are a small, selective, and of course, public STEM university offering an extremely affordable education for our over 1,550 students. Now, while we are incredibly proud of the accomplishments you see on your screen, we are more so proud of our campus community. Within our diverse student population is a central thread, though, a love of STEM. Our students are academically strong, with many of them having taken pre-calculus or calculus prior to enrolling at the university. And here at Florida Poly, students continue that academic success they saw in high school, and they also get involved with a variety of activities here on our campus, including our university band, our brand new men's lacrosse and women's soccer teams, our robotics team, esports, and many more activities. And involvement in activities and finding your tribe is important, but at Florida Poly, academics is center. That is why we are in the final stages of building our new applied research center. This 90,000 square foot research facility will more than double our facilities here on campus and is set to open this spring. But you may be wondering what's next for Florida Poly. We recently finalized an agreement with a global industry leader in biosciences and sensorial experiences, currently headquartered in New York City with facilities in over 47 countries. This company will be building laboratory and creative spaces here on our campus and is set to open in 2023, providing opportunities for our students for internships, jobs, and a variety of other partnerships. We're also in the planning stages for constructing a new environmental engineering building on campus as well. And we're also excited to announce our newest academic program started this fall, cybersecurity engineering, which is the first in the state. So before my time is up, I want to talk a little bit about the fall 2022 application. Our fall application is currently open on the Common App as well as our website, floridapoly.edu/apply. If you're concerned about starting your application or submitting your application because maybe you don't have your test scores yet or you don't have all of your information together, that's okay. Go ahead and start that application and submit it so that our admissions team can follow up with you and your designated admissions counselor can follow up to assist you in completing the application process. I do encourage you to go ahead and get those applications in to make sure you maximize your chance for our scholarship opportunities as well as our scholars programs. So applying by November 1st, we'll make sure that you were reviewed for all of our scholarship opportunities. There's no separate application. You just need to complete your admissions application. And applying by November 1st will guarantee you're reviewed for all of them. And our Provost Scholars program has a November 1st deadline. Students, though, that apply by December 1st will be reviewed for our Alexander Scholars program. So I do encourage you to get those applications in soon. I also encourage you to take a look at our visit opportunities. Visiting the website on your screen, you will see how you can register for our open houses this fall or one of our one-on-one visits during the week or visits on the weekends. So those are my updates and information about Florida Poly that I wanted to share with you all this evening. So now it is my pleasure to hand it over to Seisha Delavue from Florida State University.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Michelle. My name is Seisha Delavue, and I am the Assistant Director of Regional Recruitment here at Florida State University. A South Florida native myself and a graduate of Florida State, I am proud of FSU's commitment to providing community, diversity, service, and opportunity to all students throughout their time at the university, holding the #1 graduation rate in the state of Florida amongst public universities and one of the oldest sites of higher education here in Florida. We are located in Tallahassee and are a preeminent research institution with 276 academic and professional degree programs. Our applications open each August 1st, and we are members of the Common and Coalition applications. This year, our priority deadline is November 1st, where you have the opportunity to be considered for priority admissions, priority scholarships, and amongst the first to apply for housing. We offer amazing special programs such as our University Honors Program, our nationally recognized Summer Bridge Program through CARE for first-generation students, and special programs in the major, which require supplemental applications to be completed. Students completing an application by our priority deadline of November 1st will receive their admissions decision via their application status check on February 17th. Here at FSU, our admissions process is holistic, and there is not one single factor that will guarantee admissions to the university. We offer a number of merit-based scholarships, and students are automatically evaluated for these scholarship opportunities when they apply to the university. No additional application necessary. We provide 14 suite-style housing opportunities for incoming freshmen and offer an array of academic and engagement opportunities on campus, including amazing study abroad opportunities with over 60 programs in 20 different countries. You can catch a glimpse of Florida State and all we have to offer by visiting us online at visit.fsu.edu, where you can register for a campus tour. Our campus is open. You can join live sessions, including a full admissions presentation to learn about our requirements, and enjoy getting to know life as a Seminole of Florida State by tapping into our other social platforms on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok. Or you can listen to our podcast, The More You Know. For more information on ways to contact our office, you can visit our website at admissions.fsu.edu. We look forward to inviting you to Florida State and can't wait to see your applications come through. With that, it is my pleasure to introduce my colleague, Ann Masterman, over at New College.
Thank you, Seisha. Greetings from, excuse me, my throat. Greetings from Sarasota, Florida. My name is Ann Masterman, and I am the Director of Admissions and New Student Recruitment at New College. New College of Florida is the designated honors college, and we have about 700 students enrolled. So what does it mean to be an honors college? As an honors college, it means that all of our courses are academically rigorous and our class sizes are incredibly small. In fact, our average class size is only 12 students. And what that means for our students is that they receive a lot of personal attention. All of our students not only have a faculty advisor, but they have their own career coach that works with them to help them with their career development and exploration throughout their 4 years at New College. We offer over 40 majors or areas of concentration, as we like to call them, in the natural sciences, the social sciences, and the arts and humanities. We also offer certificate programs in finance, as well as digital media and IT. A couple of things that are unique about New College of Florida is that our curriculum is incredibly customized to the interests of the students. So it's all about you, your goals, as well as your career building experiences. We also have a contract system which allows students to really work with their faculty to talk about their academic plan and make sure that it includes all of their different interests, your extracurricular activities, internships, independent research, and study abroad plans and experiences that you'd like to pursue while you're at New College. We also have a senior capstone experience. Every New College student completes this during their 4th and final year. The capstone is a culminating experience which takes the form of a research paper. It could also take the form of theatrical performance or even field experience. And it's really an opportunity for the student to present their research and their project in front of a committee of faculty and practitioners, almost like a graduate level thesis defense. Also at New College, we don't have letter or numerical cumulative grades. In fact, we actually have what we call narrative evaluations. This allows students the ability to take risks with their learning and focus on truly mastering the content instead of having to worry about their GPA. We often get asked, well, if I don't have a GPA, how does this affect my eligibility for graduate school? And the answer is, it doesn't. All of our graduate schools that our students apply to are familiar with our narrative evaluation system, and it's attached to all of our transcripts, which both employers and graduate schools tell us is more valuable for evaluating candidates than traditional letter grades. A little bit more about admission. For fall 22, New College employs a holistic application review process, which means we not only look at your academic achievement through your grades and the rigor of your curriculum and testing, but also your writing, your extracurricular, your work and your leadership involvement, as well as other character-based qualities. We made a couple of changes to the application requirements this year. New College accepts the common application, and we also have our New College application. Although we don't require an application fee, this year we will be requiring a personal statement or essay of all applicants. Applicants can submit this essay through the common application or through the New College application. We also require and will accept self-reported transcripts, the SSAR, and self-reported test scores for the purposes of making an admission decision. And students who are admitted and eventually enroll will be required to submit official transcripts and test scores over the spring and summer. Counselor and teacher recommendations are optional, but are always welcome. At New College, we have 3 application deadlines. Our priority application deadline is November 1st, followed by our regular application deadline is February 1st, and our final application deadline is April 1st. You'll see at the top of the screen the incoming statistics for our fall 2020 entering class, which are very similar to our fall 2021 entering class. Our middle 50% range for our GPA is a 3.55 to a 4.2. This is a weighted GPA, which is recalculated by New College. Our students have an average SAT score range of 1190 to 1365 and an ACT range of a 25 to 30. We also have a generous GPA-based scholarship program where nearly all of our admitted students receive some type of merit scholarship, and our students are automatically considered for these scholarships when they apply for admission. There's no separate application required. Also, the average cost of attendance at New College is, after scholarships and financial aid is taken into account, is only $6,110, definitely affordable. To learn more about our admission process and our scholarship programs, please use the QR code on this slide and visit our website at ncf.edu/college. ncf.edu/apply or ncf.edu/scholarships for more information. And without further ado, I would like to introduce my colleague, Charles Murphy from the University of Florida.
Hello, I'm Charles Murphy, and I'm the Director for Freshman International Admission at the University of Florida. And just want to again thank everybody for taking some time out of their evening to log in and learn a little bit more about UF and the 12 colleges and universities in the state university system represented here tonight. A few quick things about UF. We are the state's land grant and flagship institution. So we have one of the most comprehensive undergraduate offerings in the entire country and really in the world. So almost anything you'd want to study and major in, you can do here at the University of Florida. We are one of the very few campuses in the country that has graduate and professional schools like law school, vet school, med school, dentistry, PhD programs in a variety of areas, and undergraduate programs in everything from journalism to engineering, liberal arts, and agriculture. So probably anything you want to study, you're going to be able to find here. And I think that's one of the great things about UF is that when we review students for admission, we're really reviewing them for admission to the university. We're not reviewing them for admission into a particular college or major. Because you have so many options at UF, we want to give you a little bit of time to explore and decide what you might want to go into during your first 1 to 2 years at the university. And we also know from our statistics that, well over 60% of our students are going to change their major during their time at UF. So we want to give you that time to explore. So the first thing I hope you leave today remembering about UF is that you have a lot of academic options. The second thing is that you're going to be supported throughout your time here at the University of Florida. We have great student supports and options for students, whether it's you need academic support, tutoring, study skills, those types of things available. We have an office on our campus that's dedicated to first generation college students. So those are students who are first in their families to attain a bachelor's degree or higher. So we have specific supports for those types of students who are interested in it. And also we have some great financial aid support programs, especially for low income and first generation students. So the UF is going to be an extremely affordable option for you, and you're going to feel supported financially as well. And then the last thing is really outcomes. At the University of Florida, we really focus on preparing you for life after the University of Florida. You're going to spend hopefully four, not 5 or 6, but 4 short years in college and getting your bachelor's degree. And you're going to spend a lot more time as an alum of the University of Florida than you ever spent as a student at the University of Florida. So those 4 years are really preparation for the rest of your life, both professionally and personally. So our Career Services Office works with students from their first semester and has an 8-semester plan to help students develop their career goals and get the experiential education that they need to put them on the right tracks. So whether that's particular coursework, whether that's service learning, whether that's internships or part-time jobs, or just doing some exploration, we're going to help you in that professional track. So whether you're looking to go straight into the workforce, pursue graduate study, whatever it is that you're looking forward to, you're going to find that support at UF to help you develop into that professional that you want to be after you leave the university. A couple quick notes about our application process. For those of you who are seniors, our application deadline is coming up in a little over 2 weeks on November 1st. It's a critical date, so please make sure you submit your application either via the Common App or the Coalition app by November 1st. We then have deadlines after that for you to submit the SAR. You've heard several other schools talk about that already, where you'll self-report your courses and grades to us, and then submit your ACT and SAT scores, but those are not due until December. So again, that November 1st date is really important, and then after that, don't forget to give us your SAR and your test scores. So again, thanks so much for your time. There's a lot more information on our website, so feel free to visit our website, which is admissions.ufl.edu. Thank you for your time, Go Gators, and I'm going to hand it over to my colleague from University of Central Florida, Elizabeth Costello.
Thanks, Charles. Good evening and greetings from the University of Central Florida in Orlando. I want to thank you all for joining us tonight. We're excited to be here and want to be able to hopefully give you some great information about all 12 of us at this point. UCF is the largest university in Florida and one of the largest in the nation. With more than 650 clubs and organizations, 13 colleges that make up the university, and over 200 degree programs on the undergraduate and graduate level, it's a great time to be a UCF Knight. We are designated an Hispanic serving institution by the Department of Education with a minority student population of 48%. We are proud to be ranked by US News and World Report as among the nation's most innovative universities and by Kiplinger's and Forbes magazine as one of the nation's best educational values. The university is made up of 4 distinct campuses: our main campus in East Orlando, our Rosen College of Hospitality Management, which is located in the heart of the hospitality industry near International Drive, our Academic Health Sciences campus in the medical city of Lake Nona, and UCF Downtown, which is our newest campus, and that is located right in the heart of downtown Orlando. UCF operates on rolling admission, which means we begin reviewing applications in the fall for the following summer and fall semesters. We continue making admission decisions through the spring term, and we do not have a specific notification date. We accept both our institutional application and the Common App, and we have no preference over one over the other. Once your application is submitted, you will then be able to submit your academic record on your Future Knights portal by completing your SPARK. SPARK stands for self-provided academic record for Knights. Students do not need to submit a high school or dual enrollment transcript for admission review. If you choose to enroll at UCF, you will submit your final high school and your final dual enrollment transcripts for verification and to complete your file, but you do not have to send those in now to be reviewed for admission. We would prefer you not to do that unless specifically asked to do so. If you qualify for our Top 10 Knights program, we do have a January 15th application deadline to be considered for Top 10 Knights. Students who are Top 10 Knights will be notified of their admission no later than March 1st, but it could be before. For more information, please visit our website. Finally, I would encourage you to visit us at UCF. We offer daily tours as well as several Saturday open houses. In addition, we also have a number of virtual offerings, and a complete information listing can be found on our website for those as well. So if you can't come to campus, definitely try to come to one of our virtual events. We want to give you as many options as possible to see and experience UCF. I wish you the very best in your college search. It's an exciting time. And if we can be of any assistance in any way, please reach out to our office. We're really, really happy to help. Go Knights. And now it is my pleasure to introduce my friend and colleague, Terry Evans from the University of North Florida.
Thank you, Elizabeth, and good evening. Buenas. My name is Terry Evans, and I have the privilege of being the Director of Admissions at the University of North Florida, located in Jacksonville, Florida's First Coast. So in relations, that's about 5 hours north of you today. Our campus is a nature preserve. I warmly invite you to come visit. We are touring. The temperature and humidity have just started to cool down, so it's perfect time to tour. We own over 1,000 acres with miles of hiking trails and beautiful lakes. And yes, the question that I get all the time, we still have the pizza ATM vending machine. And the pizza is actually really good. We're a nationally ranked university. Our distinguished programs of excellence are international business, coastal biology, nursing, nutrition, and dietetics, transportation and logistics, and music. So altogether, we have over 125 majors and 75 minors. With an enrollment size of about 17,000 students, UNF is just the right size to minimize potential health risk while maximizing the exceptional academic opportunities and campus life you'll enjoy. Our average class size is 35 students with a 19:1 faculty ratio. Your college career is important, so we have placed student success at the heart of everything we do. We are known for providing students with transformational learning experiences, conducting research with faculty, taking part in community-based learning, or studying abroad, which our students do at twice the national average. Approximately 90% of seniors take part in internships and other real-world experiences before they graduate. We have significant resources invested in best-in-class advising, peer tutoring, supplemental instruction, and academic coaching. The Hicks Honors College offers a comprehensive 4-year program with hands-on, in-depth learning. Designed for high-achieving students, this program emphasizes experiential and active learning in small classes. At UNF, everything has been designed with our students in mind. The skills and knowledge you will gain at the University of North Florida can be used to advance your studies and careers in an ever-changing global society. In fact, UNF is #1 in the state university system in the percentage of graduates employed in the state of Florida. So we keep you. Part of the reason we're happy to be here tonight is to help you find your best institutional fit. So now I will emphasize a few changes to the UNF admissions process for the incoming class of 2022. We operate on rolling admissions, and we do not require an essay or personal statement. We are a Common App school, and we're excited to also announce that we recently launched a new application, an institutional application, which now allows for our future ospreys to provide us their preferred name, pronoun, and gender identity. UNF has long been recognized for inclusivity, and Student Loan Hero has just named us the most affordable LGBTQ-friendly school in Florida. And we rank #1 in the state with 4.5 stars on the Campus Pride Index. For decision purposes, we prefer the SSAR. We ask you to please complete the SSAR, the student's self-reported student academic record online, as we will not be downloading transcripts from the Common App files. We also have a strong commitment to making the college experience affordable. It pays to apply early. The priority deadline for all scholarships is November 1st, meaning that students who have been admitted to UNF by this deadline will receive priority consideration. We still recognize that COVID is interrupting our daily lives and may interrupt your SAT or ACT testing plans. So please just send us any test scores you may have. Our admitted students can confirm to the university as early as October 30th. This year, a deadline to confirm for summer and fall will be May 1. We are currently hosting college-specific open houses and offering on-campus virtual free SAT and ACT test prep sessions. I invite you to visit unf.edu/visit to see the full schedule of events. We would love to have you. Thank you again for joining us tonight, and I now have the pleasure to introduce our dear friend, Dr. Glenn Besterfield from the University of South Florida. Glenn?
Thank you very much, Terry. Hello, students. My name is Glenn Besterfield. I'm the Dean of Admissions at the University of South Florida in the Tampa Bay metropolitan area. The #1 emerging technology metropolitan area in the United States per Forbes magazine. The new Silicon Valley of the United States, and home to the back-to-back Stanley Cup champion Tampa Bay Lightning and soon to be back-to-back Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Sorry, Florida Panther fans and Miami Dolphin fans. With only 65 years of history, the University of South Florida has made unprecedented academic accomplishments and is considered now by US News and World Report to be the fastest rising public university in America. We are now ranked number 46 public university in America per US News and World Report, joining the two great universities to the north of Tampa in the top 50 public in the United States. And USF now is one of only 3 preeminent universities in the state of Florida, joining once again, those two great universities to the north of the Tampa Bay area. And USF was recently ranked 1st and 2nd in the past 2 years by the Florida Board of Governors in the entire state university system for performance-based metrics, which measure undergraduate student success. Metrics like retention rates, graduation rates, employment rates, starting salaries. What's new for you at USF for fall 2022? We'll be opening our new Judy Genshaft Honors College, 7 stories, 70,000 square foot for our honor students. This will also house our National Scholarship Office, available to all USF students, helping them attain national scholarships such as the Goldwater, Rhodes, Truman scholarships. We'll also be opening what we consider to be just extremely important for our students. We're opening a new 40,000 square foot wellness center with a new clinic and all of the counseling that our students need in these very trying times. We're also opening this upcoming year a 90,000 foot innovation center. For the class of 2022 and a future USF Bull class of 2026, we truly understand how difficult it's been. Your junior year was 100% within the pandemic. You had a lot of struggles through high school. We're trying to be extremely understanding of that as we look at the admissions process. The availability to standardized tests is still very difficult and very challenging for some families. There might be higher level of anxiety, etc. So we will remain what we did this past year, and we will become very flexible in our admissions process. What do I mean by becoming flexible? For the class of 2022, we still have to admit over 20,000 students to the University of South Florida in order to hit our enrollment targets. So we'll basically still be flexing all of our admissions criteria, extending priority dates to apply, to complete your application, the awarding of scholarships. And although required for admission as a first-year student, we will once again be de-emphasizing the SAT and ACT scores in our admissions process, putting more emphasis on the high school curriculum and the weighted GPA. My advice, apply now and send us your documents, send us your test scores, your transcripts. We'll decision your application when they are complete. We do not do rolling admissions. We will start releasing decisions on November 15th. But we really want to give you enough time to be able to test multiple times and send in the best profile that you possibly can. I would typically at this time say, please take our virtual tour. Well, you can take our virtual tour. We have a self-guided tour. We have a virtual tour, but please visit campus. We have been open for tours for quite some time, over a year now. We are running almost 200 students a day through campus tours. We've basically doubled down. We've hired almost twice as many tour guides as we've had in the past. So please visit campus. But most important, really, enjoy your senior year. Don't let up on the accelerator. Finish strong. The last thing that we want is you going downhill your senior year as you enter a university. But enjoy your senior year as you start this transition to higher education. I'd like to now introduce my colleague from the University of West Florida in the great city of Pensacola, Katie Condon.
Thanks, Glenn. My name is Katie Condon, and I have the honor of serving as the Executive Director of Admissions at UWF. Thank you so much for taking the time to be with us tonight. UWF is located in the westernmost part of the Panhandle in Pensacola, Florida, on 1,600 beautiful acres and is in the Central Time Zone. UWF is a regional comprehensive university that is focused on undergraduate learning, specifically through high-impact practices. UWF faculty are dedicated to undergraduate learning and know their students by name. We have 5 academic colleges with over 90 programs. Our cybersecurity program is the only school in Florida designated as a National Center of Academic Excellence in Cyber Defense Education by the National Security Agency and the Department of Homeland Security. Our flagship programs include marine biology, musical theater, sports management, and health sciences. UWF has been ranked Best Southeastern College for 18 years running by U.S. News and World Report. We are also ranked #1 in the state university system for percentage of bachelor graduates employed or continuing their education. This fall, we enrolled just over 13,000 students. Our freshman class had approximately 1,200 students with an average GPA of 3.8, an average ACT of 24, and an average SAT of 1140. We are considered one of the smaller schools in the SUS system with an average class size of 28 students. In fact, 82% of our classrooms held less than 60 students. In terms of athletics, we are the only Division II school in the SUS system. We're in the Gulf South Conference and we have 15 different sports. UWF is also the reigning national champions in football for Division II. Our freshman application for fall is now open. This year's scholarships priority deadline is December 1st. This means that applicants must have a completed application that includes their self-reported student academic record, or SAR, and test scores by the December 1st deadline. We will begin releasing freshman application decisions next week. Then we will transition into rolling admission. Students who meet the December 1 deadline will receive priority consideration for merit-based scholarships ranging from $6,000 to $20,000. Excuse me. Over 30% of our incoming class receive an academic scholarship. We have 3 President's Scholarship competitions that are invite only. Students who qualify will be invited to campus for the competition. Scoring is based on essay, faculty interview, high school academics, and test scores. Winners will receive a full ride totaling over $50,000. In addition, we have the Argo Spirit Scholarship, a non-merit-based full ride scholarship for students who have overcome obstacles, fought for something important, and made an impact in high school. Students must be admitted to UWF and complete their Argo Spirit Scholarship application no later than April 1st. Also, all National Merit finalists who attend UWF will automatically receive a full ride. We also offer the Argo 30 Guarantee, which is our pledge to cover tuition and fees for all Florida residents who are Pell eligible. We also have lots of ways to visit campus. We have 2 open houses, one on November 20th and one on April 9th. We have campus tours Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m., and you can register online for those. If you cannot make it to campus, please check us out virtually at uwf.edu/virtual tour. Thanks so much for being here tonight, and go Argos. Now I'll turn it back over to Joel.
Thank you, Katie, and thank you to each one of our presenters today. I think we can all see now why the State University System of Florida is #1 in the nation. Our 12 universities offer something for everyone, really. So next, we're going to move on to the question and answer portion of our program. And as I mentioned before, we received these questions from students just like you. So why don't we go ahead and get started? So I'll ask my colleagues to please go ahead and come back on camera. And I would like to start the Q&A with Jody from FIU. And the first question, Jody, is how do I get an application fee waiver and how do I give it to you?
That's a good question. So students should be ready to provide documentation with their fee waiver requests. All of us accept the SAT or ACT fee waivers or a NACAC, National Association of College Admissions Counseling application fee waiver. You can usually get those through your school counselor or advisor if you're a transfer student. Students with a hardship due to COVID or any other situation should be able to provide documentation to a school. FSU allows for self-certification, and New College of Florida waives the application fee altogether. So check with the individual schools.
Thank you, Jody. Okay, so this next question I would like to ask Katie. Katie, how can I find out which school has the best psychology or biology program?
That's a great question, and we get asked this a lot. It's hard to answer because, like you, unique in your own ways, each university has a specialized program, talents, and resources. Our faculty come from all over the world, and their experiences drive your learning experiences. Not everything is measured on the scale of 1 to 100. There is no one size fits all, regardless of the ranges. Determining which program fits best for you requires research and consideration of the program's strengths and weaknesses as they apply to your own career educational goals. In the end, you want to make sure that the program is the best fit for you and provides you with the best opportunities, education, research, and overall experience.
Thank you. Now, this next one, Elizabeth, and it's a common one. It's what if I don't think I can afford to go to a university?
That's a great question, Joel. And we get asked that a lot. The state of Florida and the state university system has really tried to remove finances as a barrier to post-secondary education across the board. Each of our institutions have some of the lowest tuition in the nation, and we're very, very proud of that. We want to be able to be accessible to all students in the state of Florida. We also have wonderful financial aid offices, student financial assistance offices. Some of them have different names, but it's all the same. The offices that manage our financial aid, and they help our students with information about state grants and scholarships and things that students can look to help finance their education. In addition to, you always hear about loans, but there are so many grants and scholarships that students may be qualified for. And our financial aid offices are definitely capable of getting that information out to students. So students should go on to each of our websites to look for those things to help with that affordability.
Thank you. Now, Charles, we saw this question come up a few times in the chat, and it's, does my major matter in the application process? And if you could also share with us, what is a minor?
Sure. For all the state universities represented today, in the vast majority of cases, the intended major is not going to affect your chances for admission to a certain school. Now, if you look at an out-of-state institution, it may be a little bit different, but for us, it's usually not going to play a large part. This is because we know a lot of students are going to change their major, do some exploration after they get to a university, but there are some exceptions. So for example, some programs may require you to do an audition. For example, if you're going into a school of music, you will likely need to do an audition for that music school. Others may want to see entry-level math course, like a good math, calculus, or science foundation if you're going into a STEM field like chemistry or physics. As for a minor is typically a smaller group of classes around a specific subject that you're interested in, but doesn't have quite the depth of a major. So most degrees are 120 credit hours over the course of 4 years, and a minor may be as little as 18 hours, which is roughly 6 classes.
Wonderful, thank you. And as our students are navigating the application process, if I may ask you, Dean, what is the difference between early action, early decision, and rolling admissions?
Sure, no problem, Joel. Early action is a non-binding application process. Students complete their application during early action, will receive an early response on their application, but they still have until the May 1 deadline to commit to a school. We, FGCU, are the only university that uses early action. Again, apply by November 1st, and we'll give you a decision by January. Early decision plans are binding, and a student that applies early decision must attend the college if they're admitted, which none of the SUS use early decision. Rolling admissions are simply just as students apply, as the applications received by the university, admissions decisions are provided to the student.
Wonderful, thank you, Dean. And Charles, if I may bring you back quickly, this is a question regarding standardized testing, and the question is, are the SAT or ACT required for all 12 state universities in Florida?
Yeah, the short answer is yes, but the longer answer is that we all require standardized test scores for admission because we're governed by what's called the Florida Board of Governors that sets our rules and regulations, and one of those rules and regulations is that test scores are required, and there's also some legislative requirements in regards to test scores as well. We certainly understand, given the pandemic, the barriers that taking a test it can present, but we also know that many school districts and systems are offering school day testing and are opening additional test sites to accommodate test takers. So we know the state has done a lot to try to make sure that all of you who are in the state of Florida have been able to test. And many of us have, altered and moved our deadlines or worked individually with students and families if you're having trouble accessing a test to make sure that you have ample time to take a test to meet all of our deadlines.
Excellent, thank you. And while we're in the topic of requirements, Michelle, do I have to take a math or science during my senior year?
Yes, thank you, Joel. That's a great question. Definitely would never recommend for a student to do the bare minimum to get into their dream school by any means. But really, if you're thinking about doing anything related to engineering, science, somewhere in the STEM fields, they're most likely going to require a college chemistry and lab component. And if you're looking specifically at something that is considered more pre-professional, so you want to go into medicine, veterinary sciences, pharmacy, dental, those types of programs, you will be required to take chemistry at the college level and likely organic chemistry as well. So making sure that you're on the right path during your senior year, you have all that prerequisite knowledge to make sure you'll be successful. Not only looks good in terms of an admissions process, but ultimately you just want to make sure you're going to be successful. So definitely take a look at continuing in those science classes senior year.
Perfect. Thank you for that insight. Also knowing that a lot of our students are applying early on in the cycle. So very important there. Thank you. Now, Seisha, what if my grades when I was a sophomore slipped when we went virtual? Will that hurt my chances of getting into a college?
Yeah, so that's a great question. I'm sure a lot of students have started asking that. So, due to the increased number of our virtual learning environments, we will assess coursework at the same level as in-class instruction. So with that being said, we understand that the transition from face-to-face to remote was not as smooth for everyone. Grade trends will be an important factor during the review of academic records. And so we're looking at your progress throughout your time in high school. So we certainly want to see how you have advanced and moved forward from last year to this year, so on and so forth.
Wonderful. And while I have you up, if I can maybe ask you a follow-up, and it's regarding admission decision and rejections. What might cause you to immediately reject an applicant?
That is a great question. There's certainly a few cases that are going to raise some immediate red flags for us. And so in the application review process, not completing the minimum academic units required for admissions to the state university system. So most of all of you should know we require minimum coursework, 4 English units, 4 math units, 3 social and natural science units, and then 2 sequential units of a world language. Not completing those is certainly a red flag. And then in Florida, with our dual enrollment opportunities, we certainly want to see GPAs higher than at 2.0. So not meeting a 2.0 GPA if you're taking dual enrollment courses is certainly a red flag that we are going to be looking at.
Wonderful. Thank you for that insight. And Jody, this next question, I love how it was asked. So I will read it as it was presented to us. And that is, from a student's perspective, right? How do I know if a school has all of my stuff and if my application is complete?
I probably get that email about 4 times a day. That and do you have my transcripts? So first and foremost, by the way, if you're sending that email to someone, please make sure to put your first and last name. And if your first and last name is common, your date of birth or your student ID number that we've given you, always very helpful. But to know if we have all your stuff, if the university for which you've applied to has an application portal, which I'm going to guess we all do, that is the best place to start. It has status updates that track your application process. It should show complete or in review. It has like a green check mark or it has a dancing frog. I don't know. Most of, not all of us use email. I know it's not something that this generation wants or likes to use, but as I keep telling people, it's better than me doing a TikTok video because that's what's next. So check your email on a regular basis, and the email will tell you if you have missing items or that you need to check your portal for missing items. There are some things that we actually can't put in email because it's private. So we'll put it on the portal. One thing to note, many schools will tell you that you have a final transcript missing, even though you've been admitted. This is pretty standard. So please don't assume that your school didn't send your transcript. Once you're admitted, just know if it says transcript on your portal and that it's missing, that we're asking for that in June. We don't need another one. So that's for the counselors out there and for Ms. Gilman, who's on here as one of our hosts. Please just make sure. And then once you commit to your institution, especially for those schools who are using self-reported, you need to send the final official transcripts, official test scores, and all your official documentation to lock it all up. I'm doing hand gestures that you can't see because we're on Zoom, and have everything finalized in your record.
Thank you for that insight. And I know we laugh and we smile about it, but we also know that that's a stress point for a lot of students. So thank you for sharing. Dean, do you all take legacy into consideration?
Good question. While we all would love having legacy students come to us, I'm sure they're near and dear to all of our hearts. However, it really does not factor into the admissions decision. We're looking for what you as a student has accomplished in your high school career for an admissions decision into our university, not whether or not your parents came here or your uncle, aunts, grandparents, whatnot. But no, we'd love to have you come back like your parents did, but it does not factor in.
Perfect, thank you. Now, my colleague here at FAU, Maura, let's see. So what if I want to know the requirements for a specific school on this panel?
Yeah, thank you for the question. Most of us, all of us, many of us, provided our profiles on our slides. Many of us provided what we call the middle 50%. The middle 50% gives you a range of what the admitted student qualifications were for that year. We much prefer to give you a range than to give you an actual number or an exact average, because we know that all of you are unique and you bring different characteristics with your academic profile to the table. Each of our websites have our middle 50%. Some of us have selective programs like music or like nursing, where an audition or certain other qualifications are necessary. And so for those, we would recommend you contact the admissions counselor at each of the schools you might be considering, or reaching out directly to the program. How do I audition for music at your intended university? Thank you for the question.
Absolutely, and thank you. Now, this next question, I think is so perfectly timed. And Terry, if I may ask you, can I apply now if I'm a senior, but won't take the SAT or ACT until November?
Please do so. We want you to. We understand that we're aware of all the test dates, all the national test dates. Once you have a portal created with us, you can start uploading that supplemental material, such as your transcripts or other items that we may need, an essay or a recommendation, whatever the institution requires for admissions purposes. But most importantly, once you've completed that, we will send you reminders. We will poke you every so often via text or via an email to say, hey, we are still missing these documents from you, to make sure that you meet all deadlines. So yes, get that in. And then in addition to those reminders, we'll also send you, what's going on campus. So just go ahead and get that done. I believe Maura mentioned about the test waiver. So if you have concerns about your fees, we're trying to remove as many barriers to make sure that you get your application in on time. So thank you for the question.
Absolutely, thank you, Terry. And Elizabeth, this next one is for you. And we heard SAR, self-reported, SPARK mentioned a few times. So the question is, what is the SAR and SPARK, and do I have to fill it out?
Excellent question, and we get that all the time. The SAR is the self-reported student academic record, and that is used at 9 of the 12 S2S institutions. And the SPARK is the self-provided academic record for nights that's used specifically at UCF. They are both systems that are designed to allow students to self-report their academic record to the institution during the application process, so that you don't have to send us transcripts. You submit your coursework, your grades, all of that information is on either your SAR or your SPARK. They are required, so students are required to submit a final official transcript to the one institution where they are enrolling after they graduate high school prior to enrollment. But the SAR and the SPARK are definitely a requirement if those schools require it. It's not optional. It's not to say that you can just send a transcript to either or. If they require the STAR or the Spark, you have to do that. The USF and FIU do not use either of these platforms, and when applying to them, students should be sending their preliminary high school transcript for initial admission consideration at that point as well. Great question.
Perfect, thank you. You know, before you meet yourself there, we're talking about requirements, but how about for those students that haven't had a chance of visiting and they're still exploring? Are you offering campus tours?
Yes, big yes. All 12 SUS institutions are welcoming visitors to campus and offering campus tours. Students and families need to visit each of us on our individual websites for the details of when tours are offered. So I can't cover all of that in this short time, but most, if not all of us, require students to register for a campus visit prior to the visit day. So definitely visit those websites. The pandemic greatly reduced our ability to offer campus tours for a number of months. So there's definitely a high demand for tours now. So registering early is really going to be important to get the dates and the times that you're looking for, because I know we all fill up quickly, especially in popular times. It's always a good idea to have several dates in mind when you're scheduling, since those popular times like Fridays and days when high schools are on break fill up really fast. And if that's the only time you can come, you want to make sure that you sign up early enough so that you can get in those dates that are convenient for you and your family.
Now, Elizabeth, I'm going with you once again, especially
Yay.
because you answer the SAR and Spark question, and this is for students that are coming in with questions about their GPA and scales. How do you look at a GPA if it's on a 4.0, a 5.0, 6.0, 7.0 scales?
Mm-hmm. Lots of districts and the high schools are very different. We consider high school GPAs on a 4-point scale. Most of us will recalculate a GPA for use in the admissions process. That GPA may or may not be different than the GPA that's listed on your transcript. Our recalculation will include only the academic core courses, which fall into the categories of English, mathematics, natural science, social science, and foreign language. We also will weight courses. So any AP, IB, ACE, dual enrollment courses, any of those, we give an extra 1 point of weight to. Honors courses will receive a half a point of weight. So that sort of makes it everyone on an even playing field. So we don't take the GPA just from the transcript, but don't be concerned about that because everyone is being looked at in the same manner because of that recalculation and looking at the core courses.
Perfect. Thank you, Elizabeth. And we'll give you a little break.
Am I done now? That's good.
Yeah, I would like to move this next question to Charles. So how does a wait list work?
Yeah, a wait list is when you meet the admissions requirements for a particular college or university, but the college or university has already filled their anticipated space for the incoming class. So what happens if a spot becomes available later on? You may be offered that spot off the wait list. So typically you'll need to decide whether or not you want to be on the wait list. And then if you are on the wait list and you get an offer to come off the wait list after May 1st, you may have to forfeit a deposit you made at another school if you're offered that spot. Also know that you may have a very short time period to make a decision off a wait list without specific financial aid or housing information. So it's just really important if you're ever placed on a wait list, that college or university will have information about their process, ask questions, be proactive, and just make sure you make an informed decision. While you're on a wait list, this is sort of my personal advice, you should make plans to attend another university because there's no guarantee you would get off that wait list.
Wonderful, thank you. Maura, for students that are taking dual enrollment, so the question is, I'm taking dual enrollment, do I list it as having attended a college in my application? And do I need to send a college transcript?
Sure, thank you. Seeing lots of questions about dual enrollment in the chat tonight. Yes, if you are taking dual enrollment classes, those are college classes, and you should indicate the name of the college that is granting you that credit on your application. Transcripts from that college are not necessarily needed at the time that you apply for admission, but if you are applying to a school that uses the SSAR or the Spark, you would be expected to list the courses as dual enrollment. There is a way to do that in the form so that the university is aware that you are taking dual enrollment. If you have grades that are below what we want to see, we may ask you for an explanation, or we may ask you for a transcript, because those grades will also impact possibly your high school GPA, depending on your school's policies. So important you tell us you're taking college courses. And as I think it was my colleague Saisha from FSU mentioned earlier, really want to see you doing well in those courses because you're also starting your college GPA. Thanks for the question.
Absolutely, and I think this is actually a pretty good segue. Not only for students that are taking a lot of dual enrollment and sometimes coming in with an associate's, but this is really a general question, regardless of dual enrollment and post credits. I would like to ask this question to Michelle, and it's going back to SATs or ACTs. What if I just haven't taken the test? What do I have to do if I have not taken either test?
Yeah, thank you, Joel. That is a great question. I believe Glenn with USF had spoken a little bit about this earlier, and I believe Charles as well. A couple other people mentioned it, but as state university system, we do require standardized tests for admission to stay in compliance with it, all of us as state universities. So we do understand, though, that there are barriers to taking those assessments, but we also know that there are many school districts and opportunities for national test days, school test days, and other additional test sites that have opened across the state to try to accommodate students that need to take the assessment and prioritize those test takers. So many of us over the past year and a half or so have adjusted deadlines, have adjusted the weight of test scores within the admissions process. So make sure that if you do have questions about those deadlines, reach out to those individual institutions. But we are aware of that struggle, and we understand where you're coming from with that.
Wonderful, thank you. And this next question, I would like to ask Katie. Katie, for some of our students that graduate high school early, so what if I want to graduate from high school early? Will that hurt me in the admission process?
Thanks, Joel. Well, we really don't take into consideration how many years it takes a student to graduate. The number of classes is not as important as the grades, the rigor, the depth, and the breadth of the curriculum completed by the student. Therefore, graduating early isn't always the best choice if you haven't been taking challenging classes, and if you're just barely meeting the academic requirements for high school graduation. So it's not always the best choice, but we consider them equally.
Wonderful, thank you. Now for Dean, we'll learn the topic of high achieving students. The question is, are college prep classes the same as honors classes?
Okay, it's a short and simple question, but it's a little bit of a complicated answer, a little tricky. College prep classes are generally not the same as honors classes, although the difference depends on your school and the structure of the curriculum at your high school. College prep classes generally prepare you for applying to college and can include rigorous classes like advanced placement classes or AP classes. AP classes can earn a student college credit if they pass the classes and then do well on the AP exams, of course. Honors classes are also advanced classes that are offered at the high school where the material is more difficult and the assignments will most likely require more work. Honors classes may allow a student to go more in depth in a topic, but they will not provide college credit. Both AP classes and honors classes can receive additional weighting at all the universities. And really, it's important, I think, for the student to talk with your academic advisor to determine which you feel is a better fit for you, AP classes, college prep classes, or honors classes at your individual high school.
And we'll learn the topic of specific coursework. This next question I would like to ask you, Glenn, over at USF. Which schools accept AP, and how about ACE and IB?
Joel, that bribe I gave you to give me all the easy questions evidently worked. Liz Costello from University of Central Florida answered quite a bit of this, and this has been discussed already, but it is extremely important. All 12 institutions in the state university system accept advanced placement, AP, International Baccalaureate, IB, and the Advanced International Certificate of Education, ACE. We also accept CLEP exams, and we accept those depending upon the score. In the admissions process, if you've taken an academic core course in AP, IB, or ACE, we award 1 extra weighting point toward the GPA. After admissions and during enrollment, if you scored on an AP exam 3 or higher, you will get at least 1 academic course credit. If it's an IB score of 4 or higher, you will get at least one course credit at the university. And if the ACE score is E or higher, you will get one credit, at least 1 credit is awarded. In some cases, depending upon your score, 2 courses can be awarded. Give me another easy one. Again?
I was going to ask you the next 5, but I'll be nice and I'm going to pass it on to Terry. And this question, Terry, it's how do I know if a school has a major that I want?
Oh, I love that question. One of the things that we've been doing in the chat is putting the directing most students to check out the Florida Board of Governors link. And I believe most of you have either received it already. And that link, what I found, has a really nice shortcut that lists all the universities. You can filter by the university. And then there's another tab that says filter by the resource. And all resources, including programs, are listed in there. But we have so many other ways. You can fill out a request for information. You can contact the admissions office. You can join us at a preview day. You can join us at an open house day. You can join us at a tour. You can email us. You can call us. There are so many ways that you can essentially get that information, but that's just, some of the ones that are more fun and others are just more kind of self-started by you doing some research on, some of the websites that I listed. Hopefully that answered the question, but come see us, come join us. We're looking forward to meeting you. We're also been a little tired of being in lockdown. So we look forward to connecting with you and answering all your questions.
Thank you for those thoughts. And Jody, we started with you. So I figured this would be maybe the last question, and we'd like to finish with you as well. And the question is,
wait a minute, Glenn has like 7 more really hard questions at the bottom. No?
I put all the very, very tough questions at the end. Just trying to be nice.
It was all random, Jody.
All right.
So this is actually saw some questions in the chat, and we're talking about entry terms. So the question is, as a student, can I apply to both summer and fall semesters?
Oh, I answered this question in the chat, actually, in the Q&A. And actually, I answered the question why, if it was easier, and why some people went to summer and fall. All right, so you apply to a semester, either summer or fall or spring. Many of us have spring admission, but not both. Most of us are going to consider you for all the terms, based on your holistic review, based on what we decide, based on what we're looking at. And if you apply for fall, but you're admitted to summer, it's for a reason, and changing terms is not always an option. And one of the things I explained to the person who asked the question was, summer is you're taking maybe 1 class or 2 classes, and it's a little slower. It's a faster pace. The classes are only 6 weeks, but there's not as much as far as distractions, right? There's no football in the summer. There's no, I'm looking at UF. Lord knows we're not doing that. Anyway, there's no sports, there's no Greek life, there's not as many activities going on. You're really doing the classes, you're getting the wraparound support services in the summer. And also you're going to class for longer because the classes are 6 weeks. You're in class a little bit longer during the day, more days a week sometimes. And it's there to really as a jump start. In fact, we use that word a lot at FIU for summer classes And even spring, we have a jumpstart program that we're doing with Miami-Dade right now. So it's a jumpstart. It's just helping, making sure that you're ready. And a lot of times that class or the classes you're taking in the summer are some kind of foundation class that you're going to need for your major or your program moving forward into the fall. And that way, when you get into the fall, you're not so stressed out and anxious that you can't enjoy all those extracurricular activities because you're just so focused on your, you're focused on your academics, but you have time for fun too. So it's always a good thing. So if you have plans for a summer vacation, just consider the fact that you might be going to school instead.
Thank you, Jody. And I would like to really just say thank you once again to all of our presenters, our colleagues answering questions in the chat, and for everyone that made this possible, for your genuine insights throughout your presentation. Also to all of you in the audience for your questions and engagement this evening. As a reminder, if you didn't get your questions answered, or if you have specific questions, you're encouraged to contact the universities that you're interested in individually. We all know that this can be a time of great anxiety and uncertainty for many, but I certainly hope and also know that all of our panelists this evening hope as well that we provided enough information this evening to help you on your academic journey. So I encourage all of you to visit each of the individual websites for all 12 of our state universities. And thank you so much for joining us this evening. Have a wonderful evening. Good night.